Good morning, and thank you for being here today. Go ahead and get a Bible and turn with me to the 37th Psalm. Let's begin digging into this psalm that again addresses a problem that we still struggle with today, and David was struggling with it, and he knew that his readers and followers would as well, and that is that question: why does it seem like many times the wicked prosper and the righteous do without? And David has answered that question. How do we deal? He really hasn't, I guess, answered the question, but he's told us what to do in that situation, and that is trust God. Trust God. He says that we are to rely on God, know that God even in those times, God is still on the throne, that God sees everything. He knows exactly what's going on, and that we are to steadily just rely on Him and allow Him to do His work. And in several different images, whether it was the grass withering or some other places, what He says is eventually God will settle the score. It may appear that the wicked is getting ahead, but eventually God will settle the score, and eventually the righteous man will come out on top. He says, as the verse we finished up with yesterday, that even though he falls, he won't be utterly cast down. And so there's a warning, I guess, and a promise there. He says, though he falls. So he tells us the righteous man, yeah, sometimes they will fall. Sometimes even the righteous do suffer. But they won't be utterly cast down. They won't stay there. They won't continue in that situation. And so David then comes in verse 25, and he adds, I think, an explanation to what he's been saying, a qualifier. It's a saying I've heard, you may have too. I know it's a line in a song, a gospel song. David says, I have been young and now I'm old. And I've heard that, but honestly, I never really thought about what exactly is David saying by that. So as I read that and studied on that a little bit, it makes perfect sense to me what David is saying. David is saying, I have witnessed these truths from the time I was young till I'm old. Throughout my life, I have seen, yes, I've seen the wicked prosper while the righteous suffer, but I have never seen the righteous utterly abandoned. I've never seen them completely cast out and forsaken by God. They may not have everything they think they deserve. They may not have everything they want. But David says, I've never seen the righteous forsaken. And again, sometimes we may feel that way. We may feel like God has abandoned us. We may feel like Elijah, we're the only ones still serving God. But David says, throughout my life, from the time I was young to old, I have never seen the righteous man forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Now, what he means by that phrase, nor his seed begging bread, I believe, is David is saying the righteous man, he may not have everything that everybody else has, but some way, somehow, God always takes care of his children. He always sees to it that they are provided for and blessed, and I think probably many of you, and it'd be cool if you did it, in fact, in the comments below the post here, are like me. There have been numerous times, in fact, just in the last week, I had a situation where that I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, and lo and behold, God came through miraculously and splendidly, in fact. And so God always takes care of His people. Again, it may not be may not be taken care of by the world's standards and what they expect, or even sometimes what we expect. But he says, I have never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed, his children, begging bread. God always takes care of them. And what is really cool, if you keep reading in verse 26, he goes on and says, not only are God's children taken care of and they have enough, but it seems like they have enough to share. Look what he says. He says, he is ever merciful and lendeth, and his seed is blessed. And so the righteous not only is blessed, but he blesses others. They don't hoard things up. They're willing and able to pass things on, and because of that, he says their seed is blessed. They bring blessings, further blessings on their family. Again, maybe not by the world standards, but blessed in the scene, in the grand scheme of God's work. They are taken care of. And what we've been taught here as we come through this section of this psalm is David has again and again taught us and told us, simply trust God. Even when it seems like the righteous are suffering, we are to rely on God, to live with that peace that Paul talks about in the book of Philippians that passes all understanding, with these two truths, with these two realities. He's told us over and over in the last 18 verses, God will take care of his, and he will judge the wicked. He will take care. He will take care of both sides. He will see to it. The wicked are doing well now. They often, again, seem to have more. They seem to be more blessed than God's people. But one day, the day is coming when God will judge, and he will take care of the wicked, and he will bless and take care of the righteous. Now, again, David says, though we fall. And so, yeah, there's going to be times when maybe we don't get the new car every 2 years or whatever like the neighbor does. Maybe we don't get the promotion that the man at work does. But what David reminds us here is, you got that guy at work who's a dirty scoundrel and backstabber, and he gets the promotion, or she gets the promotion, and the godly man that does his work and tends to his business gets passed over. And sometimes we look at that and say, man, that doesn't make sense. What David reminds us is that God has a plan, and perhaps maybe just an example of how God works. Maybe the reason that person got that promotion, again, and you've probably all seen things like this happen. Person get a promotion at work, and then the company comes along and starts cutting back, and the next thing you know, that person who got that promotion's out of work. And the guy who didn't get the promotion, he still got work. He still got a job. Or maybe God leaves you in that position you're in instead of giving you that promotion because he needs you to, maybe you didn't get that promotion to manager. Maybe you're still working on the floor, but he's got you there to witness and work with some people and share the gospel with some people on the floor. Maybe God knows if you got that promotion and you got that new job, that the people you'd be surrounded by would undermine and harm your faith, harm your walk with the Lord. So what we have to do, what David is saying to us, is that if we're living righteously, we have to trust God, that God knows what is best for us, that he has our best at heart, and we follow his steps. He says he guides and orders our steps. And so we we follow the path that God has ordained for us, that He has a blessing for us, that He has a promise for us. And when we think about it that way, then I'm not going to be jealous of what the wicked man gets. Yeah, maybe he's prospering right now, but God has a better plan for me. I think about something that happened many years ago, over 40 years ago. My grandparents, my grandfather pastored a church down in Red Springs, and Red Springs was not that far from the beach, and I remember usually I would go and I would stay with them for a week in the summer. And I remember one year, I coveted. I just going to say, man, I had my eyes on this Hot Wheels racetrack. And I wanted that racetrack so bad. And somewhere during that week that I was staying with my grandparents, they came to me and they said, would you prefer, we'll get you that racetrack you want, or we'll go and we'll spend, I don't remember now, 3 or 4 days at the beach. But we can't do both. You can have one or the other. You can have the racetrack or you can have a few days at the beach. Well, I chose the beach. And so we packed up and we went, and we had those few days at the beach and had a great time, and come home, and I went back to my home, and that was probably, I'm going to guess and say probably in July, in the summer sometime, and my birthday is in September. And lo and behold, come September, when my birthday come along, some of you are already reading ahead. Guess what I got for my birthday? I got that racetrack. And so, that's kind of what I think about with God here when He tells us to wait on Him and to be patient. God has our best at heart. We may not get everything we think right now, but the day will come when God will settle the books and see to it that His children are taken care of. And so I'm going to refuse to look at the wicked and think, man, they've got it good. Because they may have it good right now, but the day is coming when they will be judged, and like the rich man in Luke, when he looked up, and the day came when that poor man Lazarus, who used to be outside his gates begging bread, the rich man looked up and he coveted, he desired what Lazarus had at that point. And that's the truth of what David has been telling us. The day will come when God will see to it that the righteous are blessed and get the reward for their labor. So you hold on. You continue to serve God. Don't be tempted. Don't be jealous of what the wicked man's got. You continue to be faithful and follow the Lord and follow His word. Be obedient to Him. Do His will. And God will see to it. You may not think so right now. It may look bleak right now. But God will see to it at some day in the future, somewhere, that His children are taken care of, and His children are rewarded for their labor. All right. Hope that encourages you and helps you to serve Him today, to be the man, the woman that God has called you to be. All right. You have a good day. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.